You gonna filter out the swears? Okay, good. Because I'm gonna swear like a friggin' trucker. Although I just said friggin'. Doesn't make any sense, Scotty. Shut the hell up, we're filming a TV show! I don't know, should I address the camera or should I just act normal? Wrapping up the week, right? So we're back, and it was really nice to take some time off for the holidays. I don't know if you did, but it was nice to have. It never feels like enough, and then towards the end of it, you start having that feeling of dread, like you have to go back to work. And no matter what your work is, even if you're like, oh, you have such a fun job. Yeah, I know. It's still work, and it's still stressful, and you know, and you're always, it's a job. So you appreciate the time off when you get it, and try to put some things away. But you know, it's going to be a tougher year this year. They keep saying it's going to be a tougher year, blah blah blah, and obviously there's some big things on the horizon. So a lot of people are worried that I know. And there's always a chance. There's always a chance something better will happen. You know, it's an election year this year too. Ugh, I can't even go through another one of those. So I'm hoping things will be not so bad, but it doesn't look so good. So anyway, I got a bunch of stuff I'm going to share, and with that, we'll begin the sharing. Okay, so if you don't know, I'm a pretty big Iron Man fan. I always have been, even before the Marvel Universe, you know, with the movies started. I remember when people were talking about Spider-Man and you know how awesome that was. I would always sort of counter. I really would love to see Iron Man come to the big screen, because he really had never done that. It never had happened, and then it did in 2008, and it kicked off the whole Marvel Universe, and with spectacular effect. So I'm gonna just go through a little bit of my Iron Man collection. I wish I could show you everything, but I have Iron Man in so many different sort of areas of my collection. I started to just pull out a few, and I was like, I won't even have the time. So anyway, I'm gonna start with, it's no surprise, is the Mego. I have many Megos, and Iron Man was part of a Mego collection that I had, and this one, you know, is that I played with as a kid. You know, it's got the accessories and the costume, and you know, it's classic comic book Iron Man. If you're not sort of familiar, he has like a belt that comes off, but the way that they made these Mego figures was very sort of economical, so they keep the price low, and then that was the reason that I could actually have it as a kid. So my brother and I would always play with our Mego superheroes. We'd do these big battles. We'd split up the superheroes, and then we would do these battles, and they would argue about who was stronger, what character was stronger. We're like, no, you just do it, you know, and be into this whole thing. And I don't know, that's what we do, and it would somehow or another, we thought that was really fun. I mean, these were fun to play with. So yeah, started off with Mego Iron Man, as far as toys go, and then obviously the comics. I read a lot of comics, and I'm just going to share some of the figures, maybe go a little chronologically through the movie universe. So 2008, Iron Man, this figure came out with the movie. I don't know if he actually does anything here. Let's see.
I am Iron Man.
Yeah. They didn't get Robert Downey Jr. to do the voice on this figure, obviously. Just, it's a crashing sound.
Repulsor blast.
Yeah, because he you know, he would have to say it. Repulsor blast. So anyway, it's a cool figure though. You know, they don't actually make them quite this way anymore. You know, this was just a standard figure and then they have all those.
I am Iron Man.
I think it's hilarious. Anyway, I'm glad the batteries worked on that, but because I could have tested it before I started filming, but I just started. Yeah, so this is a cool Iron Man, and then it came with the little robot guy, which I love in the movie. In the movies, he's always sort of there, and he has a number of different sort of accessories. But I love this little guy. So that was part of Iron Man 1, and then there was the Silver Suit Iron Man that came out. It's basically the same figure, but obviously it's prototype suit Mark 1. So pretty cool. I don't know if he does. I think I left them on, so yeah, I got nothing. Anyway, I forget what he says. And then after that, Iron Man 2 was War Machine, right? So War Machine came out in Iron Man 2 when the Mark II suit got over to the military, blah blah blah. They've like decked this out when all Hasbro's got like all these like shooting elements and stuff. It's pretty cool. Obviously, he wasn't just decked out in the movies, but he did have the Gatling gun on the top, and yeah, he says some things. It's ridiculous.
I am War Machine.
I don't know where.
War Machine armor. Combat ready.
Hey, he's ready. He's ready.
Now this is armored up.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, so War Machine was pretty cool, and then I believe this is the Mark. This is actually a statue, but it's really cool, and it lights up as well. It's got quite a bit of lighted effects on it. God, I'm not sure if this is Mark 7. Anyway, all the different Iron Man armors throughout the movies were all different numbers. If you're not aware, the first one was the Mark 1, the silver one, then Mark 2 was the other name, and it just kept going every time. And I think in the comics they're up to like Mark 47 or some crazy thing. Movies, and then this one is one of my largest Iron Man figures. Really cool. He also lights up. He doesn't say anything, but pretty cool. He's got this. This was a really expensive figure. He's like 20 inches tall. Really cool. I love this figure. He's highly posable, and so a really cool large scale Iron Man figure, very detailed. Yeah, I really this is a really cool figure. Anyway, and so obviously then Avengers came out. We got introduced to the Hulkbuster, which again in the Iron Man comics was like a fan favorite. It was one of those requested, I think, when they asked people what they wanted to see, and people really wanted to see Hulkbuster. Tony Stark develops an armor to fight Hulk, and in the comics they would have, the Hulk was a sort of a hero that was sort of walked the line in between. They were always trying to control the Hulk because he was uncontrollable. So there were moments where he worked together with them, but there were very often moments where they needed to rein him in, kind of like you saw in Avengers Age of Ultron. So anyway, this was a Build-A-Figure. So the Marvel Legends series, I think I showed you before, it was a whole series of figures, and each one of the pieces was in like 10 different figures, so you had to get all 10 to be able to put this together. Obviously I did, so it's a really cool figure. There was obviously quite a bit of Hulkbuster stuff going on, but I'm a sucker for Hulkbuster, so I have quite a few. And then there's this giant Hulkbuster, really cool, from Age of Ultron. It's a really big figure. It's pretty fun. Has this function where the top flips open and you can see a figure of Iron Man inside, which is pretty neat and similar to what was in the actual movie. And then one of the cool functions of this is that you can't put a figure inside, so this whole thing flipped up. I mean, it's pretty cool, right? And then the inside was this Iron Man figure that was sold separately, of course, but
America's great feeling situation.
And he had a number of things that he would say.
Now that's impressive.
I mean, there's some cool Iron Man sort of sound effects and
Mark
stuff.
43, online.
Oh, Mark 43, right? Okay.
Where's the Hulkbuster?
So he would go inside there, and then you could actually see the glow of his arc reactor through the Hulkbuster suit. So, I mean, pretty fun play factor. If I was a kid and I had Iron Man, and I wanted to be able to put him. See, there you go. Want to put him inside the Hulkbuster? This would be pretty amazing. So, it's a fun figure. It's a fun figure. Get into like the Lego stuff too, because there's been quite a bit of Lego. You know, they made these construction figures. I mean, they're okay, and they're, you know, they could be worse. They're not the best. But I still like the combination of Lego and Marvel in this way, rather than just in the minifigure form. So I give them some credit for doing that. They did a number of different BrickHeads versions of Iron Man, which I've built this little guy, and so you know, those are cool. And then the countless numbers of Lego minifigure versions of Iron Man. I have so many in different series and different sets. Some I've opened, some I've built, some I haven't, but there's many Iron Man figures that I have in that. So basically, I have a lot of Iron Man stuff. I know this has probably gone pretty long on Iron Man, but I want to share some of it. I probably will be sharing more as I go, but it's pretty cool. All right, so you can imagine, since I'm such a big fan of Iron Man, that I'm not exactly a fan of what happened in 2018 when they killed Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr.'s version of Tony Stark, off in Infinity War, so or Endgame, and you know, in the comics, they very often would have done that, and then they would have found a way to bring these characters back because they are meaningful to the overall franchise, and I think that's one of the things that Marvel has taken some missteps on. There are characters that have been around for a really long time in the comics and in the sort of the merchandise and realm that resonate with people, and Iron Man is absolutely one of those characters. It's because anyone can be Iron Man. Anyone could be Iron Man. He's not given gifts from a Norse god system. He's not he's basically like a really smart guy and has created technology to become a superhero. And there's something that resonates with people around that. And then he has his faults, just like anyone else. He's like a real person. So I think one of the things that sort of happened in the Marvel universe is that they've stepped away. I know they separated from the comic group and the influence that the comic group used to have on the movies, and they've gotten a little too much into the Hollywood sort of business of making a movie in a way that doesn't necessarily follow the success pattern that it did very early on in the Marvel Universe's movies. And so now we're stuck with these sort of second tier characters, and for lack of a better word, and I do love them, but they don't exist well on their own. They don't hold. It's because there's 75 years of research from Marvel Comics where they've introduced all kinds of characters like the ones that they're using, but they never resonated as much as Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, Spider-Man. These characters are something special, and it's really important to the overall to continue to have them. And I think this idea that somehow or another we can't change what's happened in a movie that was really great is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You can enjoy that movie, and someone could undo that movie 2 years later, and it's already been a lot of years, by the way, and it doesn't diminish the movie. That's ridiculous, and we've seen it happen over and over again. So for some reason or another, I wish that they would start to get their acts together on especially on Iron Man and other characters, because I think if they want to get back to success, if they want people like me who are Marvel fans to be interested again, they need to engage in the characters that everyone comes back for, and they just haven't been doing that, and I've been losing interest more and more as they keep going on with these just sort of not great stories, not great characters, and it's just not what we want. Okay, we're gonna talk even more Iron Man because I have so many things, and there's some things that are in the background that I've never sort of introduced you to, and this one in particular is my Factory X Iron Man, classic Iron Man helmet and sort of bust that I've had for some time. God, there was this place called Matt's Comics that I saw this for the first time, and got really excited and really wanted it, and I've had it in my collection for probably 20 years now. But it's not just a cool statue. It's a helmet. Yeah, it's happening. And you can be Iron Man, classic Iron Man. It's all metal. Pretty cool. You can really scrape your nose on the way out, but it's pretty awesome. And yeah, it's part of my permanent collection. It looks really good on the shelf, and it shines and sparkles just like a classic Iron Man. Okay, so more Iron Man stuff. This is my Marvel Legends Iron Man helmet. Very cool. It's part of these Marvel Legends replicas that they've made. This one is in the box. I haven't opened it up, which is trying to keep it pristine. It's very cool. It has all kinds of forms and functions and features, and it's really cool. Well, you didn't really think that I was not opening the box. I mean, that would be ridiculous because it's the coolest friggin' helmet ever with the light up eyes, and it does all kind of cool dimming of the eye, makes power up sounds, and then the best thing, if I did this right, you can pop it off just like Iron Man did Tony Stark in the movies. Pretty cool. I love this thing. And then you just put it back on. It's got like magnets to attach it. It's like the best thing ever. And you just pop it back on. Bam. And you're Iron Man. And aside from actually having an actual Iron Man suit, which I don't have, but you never know. This thing is about the closest you can get, and I love it. It's fantastic. And yeah, Iron Man. Okay, that's it for my Iron Man 100% Iron Man episode. And I hope I entertained and amused all four of you who are still watching. And I'm just going to have a shout out to Mary Jo and Howie because they're the only two that I think are actually still watching this. But one day, you never know, one day after perhaps I'm dead, people will watch this. Anyway, catch you later.